I'm just gonna get straight to the point. You're playing this game for the racing, baby! Wow, oh my god! It's Sonic Riders, baby! We're playing Sonic Riders. Oh yes, it's Sonic Riders. Sonic Riders released early 2006. It became a greatest hit for the consoles it released on, and I can see why. This game is some of the best gameplay of all racing games. The only reason I know about this game is because I grew up playing Sonic Riders Zero Gravity for the PlayStation 2. Then one day, I looked up Sonic Riders. Probably on a school computer or something, I don't know. But I saw this game and it looked amazing. Now that I'm smart enough to emulate games, I took this game on stream and played through the story mode and beat all the missions. Let's see how we figure out how to ride Sonic. Man, I love the part when Sonic said it's riding time and then he rode everybody. I'm gonna do a normal race real quick. I need to warm up. Alright, so when do I... Oh, I still got it, guys. I landed on a car. Okay, there we go. Story mode. Okay, heroes. We gotta watch all these dumbass cutscenes. This game has two story modes, one for the heroes and one for the Babylonians, a rogue group of thieves who collect treasure for a living. This group consists of Jet, Wave, and Storm. I'm gonna tell you about these stories one at a time, and of course, we have to start with the heroes. Disclaimer, I know the Sonic fandub completely botched this game's cutscenes, but that's fine. It kinda fucking sucks anyway. Okay. Sonic and the gang are looking for an emerald, as usual, until the rogues break out of a building with the emerald. Oh no! Sonic almost gets ran over by the rogues, and then Knuckles punches Storm off of his board, leaving it behind. Shit! Sonic grabs the board and tries to catch up to Jet. Sonic makes a really good attempt. Unfortunately, Jet doxes Sonic and almost kills him. I can't believe it. That guy doxed me. This is just like that one time with Jax Films and Sniper Wolf. Boom! Eggman appears on every screen in the world to announce a race, and a simple entry fee of 1 Chaos Emerald. Holy fucking shit, this cutscene is horrible. You know, for a man with 300 IQ, he says the most stupid line I've ever heard in a video game.
Not just a race, but a special race to see who's the fastest.
So it's just a race. It's a race. It's just a race. And what's even better,
Eggman again! Just what is he up to this time?
Like, he is asking for the Chaos Emeralds for a fee. Do you know what he does with those? Obviously, the heroes join the race after Eggman shows a sneak peek trailer of his OnlyFans. Alright, let's talk about the actual racing in the game. Metal City is our first racetrack, and it's honestly a pretty good first course. You've got your obstacles in the forms of cars, because you know, you're in a city. There's cars in the city. The basics of the gameplay are as follows. There's 3 types of gears that you can ride on. Speed characters can grind on rails, fly characters can fly through rings in the sky, and power characters can crush obstacles. Each of these actions replenish air, which is basically your fuel, because you know, cars need gasoline to function. Boosting is done by pressing the boost button on your respective controller. This gives you a short burst of speed that consumes a chunk of your air tank. As you collect rings along the track, your vehicle levels up at 30 rings, then at 60 rings. This improves your overall stats, and also improves your boosting speed. The last of these basic mechanics are tricks. You can perform tricks by holding the jump button before a ramp, and the longer you do, the higher you'll jump. Then, to actually start tricking, you just need to press a direction on the analog stick, and your character will trick in that direction. All of these functions are combined together to obtain a near-perfect racing experience. Even playing alone, I had a blast, just because of how much optimization you can do to complete tracks in the game as fast as possible. Jammin' Wave? Hell yeah, we're jamming. He's the fastest thing alive. Can he just like run to catch up with them? What was the game plan there, Sonic? Were you just planning on getting run over? And then he grabs the gear. Can't he just like run though? He's the fastest thing alive. You just got your ass handed to you. What do you mean competition? Guys, it's him. It's Eggman. He said among, guys. He said among. He said among. Yo, he goes in a ball? Yo, he's balling. I just raced against robots. That's it. There's nothing to it. Boom. Cutscene. They're all in a forest-like area. Amy catches up with them and reenacts basically what is every single one of my fangirls. Every time I walk in the street, this is just how people act towards me, because I'm just so popular. Big lore dump. Apparently, in the silly little universe with hedgehogs and generic evil villains, angels and gods outcasted the Babylonian race because they would commit unspeakable crimes. Splash Canyon is our next course, and it's alright. Its beautiful waterfall scenery gives you fun things to look at while racing. You ride up and down waterfalls, and that's really about it. This isn't really an in-depth video analyzing every little feature about each race course. Like for example in Splash Canyon, the faster you go on these waterfall sections, that speed will actually transfer onto the analog spin section, unlike other tracks like Eggman Factory and Green Cave, which locks your starting speed to a certain value. Knuckles ends up in Eggman's factory, which is where the next race is. I guess, I don't know. But he encounters Storm there, and they get in a fight that trumps even Goku versus Jiren's fight. They fuck up this robot hard, and then Storm gives an average YouTuber apology.
Sorry there, it wasn't my fault. If he hadn't jumped out of the way just now, I would have clobbered.
Alright, I've got some good stuff to say about Egg Factory. First of all, factory/lava type levels in video games are in my top 3 favorite video game theming. These levels are so cool. It's fun to look at what is supposed to be man-made scenery here. Also, the song is pretty good in my opinion. Probably what you're hearing in the background right now. This entire game has a pretty banger soundtrack. I suggest you give it a listen. Oh, and one of my favorite parts is just swirling around this power orb. You're in the center of the factory and you get to see what powers it. I love it. Imagine a city named Future City and like the future arrives. So then it's just, is it just the present city? They like gave a 7-year-old a script and was all like, please perform your best. Come on, this is what you're supposed to do to the clitoris. You just killed that dude. I could go for some Wendy's right now. That's how freaking bored I am with this plot. It don't matter, but wait, where am I? Yo, I did a Jesse, we need to beat Storm in Sonic Riders. Sonic and friends end up in the jungle area where we catch Sonic practicing tricks. He nails a sweet trick, but then Jet comes out of nowhere and essentially fucks with the competition. The Babylon rogues have mentally played with their opponents up to this point, as Jet pisses off Sonic and waves words that she said to Tails really start getting to him. Luckily, the next race is about to start and all mental problems are washed away, never brought up again. It's as easy as that. Sonic Riders therapy? Sign me up! Green Cave is your average jungle level. You know, your DK Jungle Parkway, your Tiger Temple, your Pale Rock Lake. Garfield Kart didn't have any jungle levels, please stay with me. One notable feature about this level is that you get to ride a big bug. A giant centipede, if you will. Then you get to spring off of giant spiderwebs to complete your lap. I quite like it, and to a casual player, it brings quite a challenge. I've noticed air is more scarce here than other tracks, so good job Green Cave. You have existed as a track of all time. All the racers end up in the desert where Jet scolds Sonic a little bit more, and you'll never believe what happens next, guys. Guys, get this. They race. God, I love Sand Ruins. Pretty generic names for all these tracks, but I'll let it slide. Since desert level theming are in my top 2 favorite video game theme. The music here is banging, especially. You go through an open sandy desert, then go through a little bit of ruins, and then bam, you go inside a desert temple itself. Get this, guys. Get this. Come on, get this. To end off the laps, you go on an ancient temple weapon, a big ass bow, and you must spin your stick to get launched back to the beginning of the track. If you spin your analog stick fast enough, you get a pretty decent head start compared to those who didn't wind up the bow all the way. God, I love this level so much. You can't actually complete all 3 laps because a cutscene interrupts you before the finish line. Sonic is about to win, but then Wave presses a button and launches a nuclear warhead to Sonic's exact location, causing his board to blow up, and Sonic dies.
The dirt suits you so well.
Actually, chat, I disagree. The dirt doesn't suit him very well because, well, he's blue, and the dirt is yellow, brownish, tannish, so I don't think the contrast is really that strong there, because, you know, yellow and blue. Jet has won the tournament in its entirety and gets all the Chaos Emeralds. Using a special cube Jet has had for a while, He summons Babylon Garden out of fucking nowhere. Jet gets my Geometry Dash cube yoinked straight from his hand, and Eggman heads to the floating island with it. Amy jumps onto Eggman's ship, and the gang chase him down. I wonder what he's gonna do with those Chaos Emeralds. He's gonna turn up the graphics, that's what he's gonna do. Holy shit. Dude, they're gonna die. Imagine, like, being the audience and seeing this.
Knuckles, we gotta get Eggman.
Are you not concerned about your girlfriend, Sonic? Eggman reaches Babylon Garden with the crew up his ass. Tails gives Sonic a new board, and this is where the final race happens, on Babylon Garden. Oh my god, this track is so cool! The floating island is alive, and while you're racing on it, the defense system of the floating island blows up the track while you are racing on it. And eventually, you ride on this massive draft, only to be launched on an ancient fighter plane that was blowing you up. You ride this fighter plane to the next segment of the track. I mean, come on, man! You cannot make this shit up. Sonic wins this final race, and this time Jet fails to operate his board, and crashes and dies. We catch up to Eggman, and turns out this guy doxed Amy. Luckily, Sonic has no moral compass and kills both Eggman and Amy to eliminate two problems at once. Sonic gets the cube back, Eggman dies, and all is well. Jet learns some serious compassion lessons here, and everything looks to be fine. Except for Amy. She's mad at Sonic because her private information is now permanently available for the world to see. I myself will be making my way to her exact location. And that's the hero story. Short, sweet, and silly in my opinion. Nothing to take too seriously. Yep. The Babylonian story. Look at him on that little motorcycle. Look at him, this is so cute. It's like the Squishmallow. Like, Jet's been such an asshole to Sonic, and then Sonic's all like, oh, okay, well, let's have a nice and friendly race. And then Tails is like, fuck you, Sonic, I hope you die. Bam! Oh crap, I think I messed it up. Oh no. Yep, I messed it up. Well, you win some, you lose some. Except it would be nice to win one for once. Did you guys see that save? Go. Go, 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 go! Okay, thank you. He doesn't have like a firearm with him, so he can't be like, aha, ha, ha, look at this, Sonic. And then he like pops a cap and Amy. Cream, Rouge. Search up the fan. Alright, so we start off with the Babylon Rogues on their mighty airship. We can see a smaller ship pull up to the blimp. Storm bursts into the room and knocks Jet unconscious. He's dead. Storm bursts into the room to tell Jet that an Eggman person has an interesting proposition for Jet. Something to do with this cube that Jet has inherited from his father. I kinda like that. Here he is, the big man himself. Eggman bursts into the room and tries to flatter the group. Jet has none of it, and then we get straight to the point. Eggman tells Jet that the secret of the cube is unlocked using the power of the Chaos Emeralds. There's just one teensy problem. Eggman tells Jet about Sonic and how he has the most powerful VPN to date, NordVPN, and how he is too mysterious to obtain his IP address, cause you know, if you find Sonic, you find the Chaos Emerald. Jet scoffs at this and says this, and I quote, "You think I can't dox this guy? I've accessed several nuclear codes just from operating an IKEA smart fridge." Real quote, by the way. God, I fucking hate Night Chase so much. I prefer flying and speed type characters overall, but if you're not a power character here, you just might as well not play the track. It's awful. There's too many cars that you have to avoid, and apart from this straightway after the first jump, this is literally just Metal City, but at night. Yeah, a lot of these Babylon tracks are just reskins of the Heroes tracks, but some of them aren't. We'll chase those knights in a bit. Guys, how can I commentate over this? Like, this shit is so boring. I just remembered how much I don't like this track. What if instead of no sweat, he said cold jets? Alright, bam. Okay. Remember when Wave showed up in the third Heroes cutscene and scolded Tails? No, you don't, because I never showed you that in this video. Well, now we get to see that in her point of view. See guys, this is good video making. Please watch this next segment of the video titled Video Game Reviews and How to Make a Good. We get to see Wave plant the bomb that killed Sonic in the final race. She's actually pretty smart about going around this competition because just by simply looking at the board, she thinks to herself, hey, This is actually pretty good. And then she dips. Red Canyon is up next, and once again, it's another reskin with minor differences. This track uses Ike's up special move instead of Roy's just to differentiate the two. This version is set at dusk, and I really like that. From the moment of the race preview, it shows you such pretty scenery. Completing this race shows us another cutscene where, believe it or not, the third race at Eggman Factory has already happened. Storm bursts into Jet's office telling him that Knuckles whooped his ass in a race. Nice to see a character who you are gonna play as actually lose. Wave then tells Storm that he sucks dick. Jet gives Storm a special mission, which he has to infiltrate an Eggman factory to gather information because Jet is calling sus on Eggman's emergency meeting. This brings us to Ice Factory, a complete polar opposite rendition of Eggman Factory, where, you guessed it, the factory is covered in ice. This one actually differs in terms of layout and design as opposed to the previous two tracks. I'm all for it. It's got multiple segments where you can choose to go either on the top floor or the bottom floor, depending on how high you trick off ramps. One would say it's pretty nice. Others would say it's quite cool. And I would say to shut the fuck up. Is this fly path like any faster than the real path? Oh my gosh, it is. Oh yeah, when she wins the race, she says, "And that's a wrap." And that makes me think of the Wendy's Grilled Chicken Ranch wrap.
Man, you really are worthless.
I believe our colleague Eggman, he's gotta be hiding
Colleague? They went to college together? I don't get why he does that. Melon. There's a trick just called Melon. Guys, I have a confession to make. You've just been watching a pre-recorded stream. While waiting for Storm to return, we see Wet and Jave. Wait, no. While waiting for Storm to return, we see Jet and Wave in the jungle area. Jet's just chilling while Wave is a worried mess. Jet tells Wave to chill out, and then Wave goes on a whole tangent of why being a leader is so important and how Jet has many responsibilities. Wave then starts speaking in garbled gibberish and just ruins Jet's relaxing. Jet sees Sonic and the gang practicing tricks in the forest and decides to take a little stroll to Sonic's house. Since he already doxed him, what harm could come from this? I never really was a fan of this scene. I think it's calling fun to the bitchy anxiety woman stereotype, but also, like, Wave had no right to go into a whole tantrum just because Jet was chilling. I mean, like, what more could they do? They're literally waiting for Storm. So, like, Wave, chill the fuck out. White Cave is our next track, and fun fact, this is actually named after my room on a Saturday night. This track to me is like so neutral. It's good, don't get me wrong. It's got your centipedes, it's got your spider webs, and it actually differs more than it copies from Green Cave. It's just simply another version of Green Cave. Ultimately, I do like this one better. I just don't like the jungle theming as much as other tracks. B-. Storm finally returns to the gang in the sand ruins with some information that he managed to nab. Holy shit, he got some good information. We read an excerpt from Eggman's diary strictly proclaiming that he will use the Chaos Emeralds to dox a genie's location and then make a wish to dox everyone so that he can have complete control over Twitter, and he will have everyone follow his very own formula, and when God comes to Earth, he will be ready. Jet is very disappointed about this information, but he takes it like a champ. He's not outraged, he just says,
Oh well, guess this was just a wasted effort. Too bad, really. I haven't the slightest interest in world domination or advanced technology.
Wave's able to convince Jet that a hidden gem can be found on Babylon Garden that'll be worth, I don't know, however much gold Jet has in the scene right here. Right then, they head off to the final race and oh boy, you guys are gonna like this. Dark Desert is literally some of the coolest shit I have seen in my entire life. It's a race in the desert during an eclipse. Your first ramp is right after the starting line, and when you jump, it's an amazing view. I already love this level up to this point, but it gets better. These mini ramps, these twisty turns afterwards, and then BAM! You enter this giant ass temple, and oh my god, look at this place. There's pathways for all three types of gears, and they're all useful. Mostly. Power type gear kind of sucks ass on this track, but hey, that's okay. You refill your air just as well as the other paths. Then you enter the core of the temple and get launched into this town. And god! I'm just in love with this track. It's the best damn track in the game. No contest. S tier. I love it. I'm gay. What would she be saying to make her, like, talk like that? Like, or to use, like, emotion and gestures like that? That is one of the hardest rails in the entire game. Jesse, we need to melon. Can I restart the race?
Treasure of Babylon.
Oh my god. This is my favorite race in the entire, this is my favorite track in the entire freaking game, dude. This track is so fire. I want to look at a task of this video after I'm done. And when I'm about to like fall asleep. There's like a trick you can do here, right? You can jump and then land on it. Sure, I'll hop on Discord for a bit. Okay. Okay, let's start wrapping these story shenanigans up. The next segment of the story takes place after Amy gets kidnapped. Tails, Knuckles, Wave, and Storm all meet up while Sonic and Jet race. Uh-oh, Knuckles and Storm want to get into it, but then Wave and Tails call that shit off, and Wave essentially calls Knuckles a racial slur.
Forget the red mutt.
This brings us to Sky Road, a brighter, sunnier version of Babylon Garden. The track still blows up as you go through it, but there's no segment where you go into the sky and ride a fighter plane to the next part of the track. C tier. Looking back at this track now, I really don't see a lot standing out from this track. The shock value from how cool the tracks are really died down at this point. It's just Babylon Garden, but during McDonald's busy hours. The next cutscene takes us right where the hero's story ended, but this time we see the aftermath of the rogue story. Jet, Wave, and Storm go to these big doors and use the cube to open them. We get to see the inside of this palace, and going even further in brings us to the Matrix, but blue. This sends a signal out to Sonic and friends, and they all decide to head after the rogues. Once they're all in, this big-ass genie comes out of nowhere and, cool, I guess? This brings us to the final race of the game, where we must fight the Babylonian Guardian, the ancient genie protecting the treasure. Looking at the track, it's just a fucking loop. Pour yourself a bowl of Fruit Loops and there you go, that's the track. Racing isn't the objective here. You gotta boost into the genie to destroy his pot that he lives in. Do this 3 times over the course of 3 laps and you will win the race. Treasure. Once the gang opens the chest, they fail to notice that Eggman stays strapped and he holds them up at gunpoint. He tells the group to give him the rights to Twitter headquarters, and so they do. But he realizes, what the fuck? It's not the Twitter headquarters. It's just an oversized coupon for a free large drink from Wendy's. He then has a stroke and dies. Okay, but for real, it's just a magic carpet, an ancient gear from the past, and Jet makes the revelation, actually, that he and his friends could be descendants of real genies. That's some pretty neat stuff.
A magic carpet? I thought that those only existed in fiction.
Sonic, you are fiction. You are fiction. You are fiction. Using the power of the magic carpet, Jet finds himself able to turn up the graphics once more to give us a final cutscene where both gangs are looking at Babylon Garden floating in the sky. After some friendly banter, Jet and Sonic part ways with their own gang, but not until after they both ride each other. Okay, are you avoiding—
Mysterious airport object has appeared!
What?
Looks like we have company.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh man, looks like we have company!
So, you might be asking yourself, People Bro 45, why are you streaming this late at night, playing Sonic Riders?
Nope, not really.
Well, since you're so interested, I'll tell you.
Unlocking Shadow as a playable character is more hype than that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's Shadow. Like, it's
And
Shadow. He's literally me.
Another map that we can all 4 play.
Shut up, there's a
Like-
genie on my screen right now. Look at him.
Yeah, that's the most disgusting, like, when they made the— I was gonna ask you, like, what is Twitch's restrictions and all that?
I don't know, and I really don't care.
You can't say that one fun word.
I also don't— Fun word?
A magic carpet!
That doesn't
You can use
even
it as a
ride very
board.
well. That rides horribly. And then they had sex after this. And that's it. That's the 2 story modes. Now let me show you something. See this Vegas Pro 14 timeline? This first segment here is all about the story mode. See how little it takes up? Okay, now do you see the rest of these segments? Can you guess what they are? Mission mode is unlocked after beating both stories. Don't fucking correct me on that. And here we have plenty of fun little 1-lap missions that vary from easy to hard. Each track in the game has 5 unique missions. Storm takes over the heroes tracks, and Wave takes over the Babylon tracks. This shit took me so long to complete. Some of these missions, I kid you not, are actually so fucking hard to achieve gold ranking on some of them. But after completing every single one of Storm and Wave's missions, you might be thinking, where's Jet's missions? Well, after beating both story modes, you unlock the World Grand Prix mode, and this is basically every track from both stories put together in a 5-track cup. You must get first place in every track on both Grand Prix to unlock Jet's missions. This time you can correct me. Jet's missions are all fine. There's these unique missions across the rogues where you have to collect junk on the tracks while racing, and these junk pieces can actually be used to unlock ancient extreme gears in a subsection of the missions. Beating all the missions nabs you extra characters, new gears to purchase, and most importantly, Supersonic. Supersonic runs on rings instead of air, and has all 3 types of powers built in. He's got the best overall stats, but falls a bit low on the tier list only because he requires rings to do everything. This includes boosting, and since rings are more scarce compared to air, you are not able to boost as much as boards with air for fuel. I mean, we are content creators.
The term content is so overused.
But that's what we are. We are gamers, and we are proud. Alright, this time. Nope, I'm going back for it. Oh shoot, I actually did it.
If I could get paid to play 7 Days to Die, I would never leave my PC.
Bro, it can't be that good. It can't be that good.
It's Minecraft but with zombies. Like, I know Minecraft has zombies, but it's like a zombie apocalypse.
Isn't that just Minecraft?
Shut up. They wear full decked out, like, metal armor and, like, have fighting matches.
That sounds pretty cool. Me and you should do that. I would destroy you into oblivion, dude. You don't get it.
I would just tackle you to the ground. Out.
But you can't use turbulence. You know what? Turbulence.
A whole bunch of turbulence.
Okay,
a whole bunch of turbulence.
You gotta turn up the stream, buddy.
Everybody strap.
So you laughed. What's your PO box so I can send you a package full of like $100 bills, and definitely not a pipe bomb. What's the best way to do like this joint with the spinny thing? What's the best way to do it? 'Cause I do it like this. I grab the whole thing and I just spin it around.
I know. You're also not using a GameCube controller.
You know what? You know what's more optimal? Getting bitches. How about that?
You gotta do one more race. You can't end it on that. You have to do it in the most optimal way.
I have to set a world record on a track before I end stream.
Who are you playing? No. Darn it.
It's not optimal. And that's it. That's everything you need to know about Sonic Riders. There is multiplayer, and I hear it's actually pretty good. But do you see any bitches in my room while streaming this? Yeah, I didn't think so.